Hi. So today I want to go over one of my own favorite paintings and a beloved painting of mine called Rush of the River. And I'm gonna show you how it all got started, what inspired me to paint this painting. So oftentimes when I first start out with a blank canvas, I have a photograph that's gonna be my way in. So I'll look in my family's albums. I love finding old photographs, or it can be a photograph that I actually just snap with my iPhone when I'm out and about, or sometimes it's based on a drawing from my journal. But in the case of the Rush of the River, it all started with finding this photograph. I'll show it to you here. So obviously this is an old photograph, and it's of my mother when she was a young girl, right after World War II had ended, and she's a Girl Scout. They out on a field trip in the forest, dipping their hands into the cold water. So I find a real advantage of working from a black and white photograph, and sometimes when I have pictures that are taken today in color, I will change it into black and white to not be too locked up in the colors. It gives me a little freedom to just put what color I want to use. So up here, it still is a pretty monochromatic world. I created sort of a green world based on what I think the uniform would look like. And so you see up here, you see a really sort of dark forest, the group of the Girl Scouts, and then up here just kind of a really flat green that feels really quiet. To me, at least it does. And if you start looking closely, you'll notice that the girls up here are sort of monochromatic, not sort of, they are, almost feeling like a black and white world. And as they get closer to the water, the skin begins to add some skin tones. There's a little more vibrancy in the green and so on. So this water is what sort of brings them to life. And so as for the water itself, you can see it's really abstract down here. There's a lot of sort of runny acrylic and oil. There's just some real brush strokes that are really abstract, and that's contrasted to this really sort of more photorealistically painted approach. And I'll say something I really enjoy when I work is, there's something to be said about working really precise, and then there's something about, just going really kind of loose and wild. And I love both aspects of that type of painting. So as far as the medium itself, I paint often, I'll start out in acrylic, and I take it quite far in acrylic. Just it dries quicker. It's really very runny and watery, and I love something that's really watery. And then at the end, I will also often go in with oil color on top of it and give it some bit more just velvety, almost like silky qualities that you'll see here. It's really kind of soft and gentle. So the imagery itself, as I'm working, my concerns are really more about the technical aspects, like getting the right color, figuring out how you want to approach it with realism or more abstract approach. And I'll say sometimes it's not until I'm done that I sort of give it more meaning as far as what the story tells me. And I can be as surprised as anyone else, and I can even sometimes not really know what it's about. And obviously, painting a piece of artwork can be about anything according to your mood and to your day. It can change. But what I do as a little trick of the trade is I'll start describing what I see. So like a dark forest. It's you see a little bit of the water. Group of young girls. They have uniforms. They are Girl Scouts. One of them seems to be the leader. Her head is kind of cut off, which feels really dramatic. But when I look at it from another perspective, it also, to me at least, feels like she is the woman of the group. She has, she has breasts, she has hips, and the rest of them are adolescent young girls coming of age. So that's kind of like contrast. Out here on the side, you see just one girl have her foot in, and then you see the rugs, the touch of the hand to the water. And so as I start describing, these stories come up in my mind what the meaning is. So what I see in the water is sort of the river of life, or what's to come. It can also be about sexuality. Water is oftentimes about feelings and emotions. So it's sort of like the blank unknown, the future, what is in it for these young girls. So yeah, I also, from time to time, I will actually do more versions based on the same inspiration. And that's the case with this piece. I did a watercolor piece by the same title. I'll show it to you here. So I sort of, I just focused on that one girl that's touching the water. And it's a watercolor piece and a little bit of, and some color pencil in there. And the watercolor itself is just, it's by nature, obviously it's watery, as the name indicates, but also it's hard to control, which is what I really love about it. So you'll have all these kind of, bleeds in the color that just does its own thing. But what I also find interesting is that it creates a little bit of a different mood. That this feels a little more soft and gentle, and this has a little bit more teeth. So anyway, just two different approaches of the same idea. And so that's kind of it for me for today. And I do want to, in closing, I do want to mention that I've been running, or am still running, a early Black Friday sale on my website. So these two pieces are included, and should you be interested in finding out more, please go to my website. I'll include the link once I'm done recording. I'll include it in the title or in the description of this video, so you can hopefully just click on there. And even if you're not in the shopping mood, just go in and browse around, see what else is there. I do include these two pieces will have more information, more visuals on them. So that is, I hope you're having a great weekend out there, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye. Hi to Tootsie. Hi. I hope you well.